Good evening. Sorry, I'm late. I got hit with a bunch of outdated video drivers, which is a fun thing to try and debug 5 minutes before you start streaming. And the only way I could get it to go live was as you see here. So give me 2 minutes to get set up. Oh, that's cool, that works. And I'm gonna need VS Code. Let's just make sure the chat box is working. Good evening. Good times. Got some music. We are missing VS Code. There we go. All right, let's split this. The app going. Spell that booze up. Last week I was working through, I'd started on the React testing module. I actually made it through a decent bit. Did the first 3 exercises. We're now on to form testing. So stoked to get started. Oh, that was such a frantic, 10 minutes. Well, so we're starting. Test. My CPU was starting to get a bit old and weary, so if things start clogging up, I'm just going to have to be patient. I think I'll pick up a new one up on Black Friday. Okay, that's good. Sorry? Okay, so that should be my test from exercise 3. So let's do a pattern. Exercise 4. Nice. All right, there's a short intro video, it looks like. So I'm just going to watch that, whopping 1 minute long, and then we'll get into the example. So I'm just fire this up, and I'll be back shortly. Oh, all right. Some form testing. Get rid of that and make that a little bit duller. There we go. Whoa. It's my eyes. Alright, what we got? That's localhost 3000. Markdown file? There. Ah, I always forget to do that. Okay. We used to spend a lot of time interacting with forms. Ensure that the user can find inputs in the form. Fill in their info and validate that when they submit the form. We're going to test a login form that has a username and password. Login? Looks about right. The login form accepts an onSubmit handler, which will be called with the form data when the user submits the form. Your job is to write a test for this form. Make sure to keep your test implementation detail-free and refactor friendly. Cool. So here we have the test, and then let's just bring up the login component as well, just so we can have a look at that. So I'm actually just going to split this like so. That tips things pretty annoying, so I'm just going to throw that over here, since we're not doing very much in the browser window. Okay, submitting the form calls onSubmit the username and password. So we're going to create a variable called submitted data and a handle submit function that accepts the data and assigns submitted data to the data that was submitted. You need a hand. Here's what the handle submit function should do. Pass in data, submitted data equals the data being passed in. Render the login with your handle submit function as the onSubmit prop. Get the username and password fields. .type to change the fields to whoever you want. Pardon me. Click on the button to submit. Let's just get that open. Create a variable called submitted data. Cool. And a handle submit function. Handle submit function that accepts the data. So we're going to pass in data as props and assign submitted data to the data that was submitted. Submitted data. So we're going to return I'm guessing this is just pseudocode, so I don't recognize this. Render the login with your, actually, one thing I'm going to open at this point is I'm just going to get number 3 open up. So we're going to use, oh, is this already loaded up for us? Yeah, here we go. So we're going to render the login component and on submit. We are going to handle submit. So the data from the login form is going to be passed to this. Then we're going to assign it to this. So did you create that as state? I'll come back to that. Render the login form of this. Cool. Then we're gonna have a bunch of expects. Okay, let's split these out. Sorry, 1 second. All right, get the username and password fields via get by label text. So const username node sets the screen by label text. Stop buzzing. So here's the username, and there's the password. Get the fields via get by label text. This will search for the label that matches the text and then find the element associated with that label. So we're going to search for username. It's going to find this label, and then because this has an HTML4 attribute, It's then going to try and find the ID that matches this, which in this case is going to be this input. So let's grab that. Some funky oriental beats. Password node. By label text. Password. Yeah, I can't. What I would probably do here is like a stateful value? I don't know if you can use state in here. Or if you should use it, sorry. I'll just say that's an empty object to begin with. Set submitted data. The data? You shouldn't use state. Yeah, I didn't think so. God, rusty. So object assign, is that what I want? Target and then this, yeah, I think I can just do that. Thank you, Blackbirds. So let's just create that as an empty object, and then let's do object assign. Target is going to be submitted data, and the source is going to be data. Use the user event.type It's a companion library that browser interactions. Okay. Type. Here we go. Writes text inside a. Oh, that's cool. Type. And instead of getting by role, I should just be able to give the username node. Norris. I can't remember what the password should be. Password node. I don't need no password. Click on the button with text submit. node. Screen. Get by text. Get by rule. There's only one button here, so get by rule should be fine. Assert that the submitted data is correct. So I'm going to expect something. The return value. So I'm going to need to click it. Just click it like that. I feel like search for screen. I have to click anything in here. Counter, get all by button, expect this. User event.click. That's what I need. And then I'm going to pass the button node. And then I'm going to assert that submitted data is correct. So I'm going to expect submitted data dot username I'm gonna expect submitted data password to equal I don't need no password. Okay, so I mean, let's save that, and then let's bring this back up. One test, exercise 4, submit the form, yes. Okay. What if it equaled Chuck Norris? Good times. That's cool. And then I don't need no password. Perfect. All right, good start. So we're using screen. Trying to get familiar with this library. So we're using screen for accessing things in the browser. We're using user event to simulate user actions. Cool. I think there are some extra credits on this one. Let's take a look. For extra credit solution. Of course, it's in the architect. Extra credit. Use a jest mock function. Jest has a built-in mock function API. Rather than creating the submitted data variable, try to use a mock function and assert it was called correctly. Let's grab the docs. Mock functions are known as spies. Create a mock function. Jest.function. If no implementation is given, the mock function will return undefined whenever it is invoked. Okay. Looking to replace this. Mock function. And then we do that. Cool. Rather than creating the submitted data variable, so let's just get rid of that. Try to use a mock function and then assert that it was called correctly. Yes. Complete guess. And then expect it to have been called with, to ensure that a mock function was called with specific arguments. For example, let's say you can register a beverage with a register function. So you can register a beverage with a register function and apply to all should apply the function to all registered beverages to make sure this works. We have a beverage, register it. We have a mock function. Apply to all should apply to all registered beverages. Yes, kinda. Do I want to do a mock implementation? 0. Let's still call this submitted data. Cool. So that doesn't return the data. No! I thought that would work. Mock implementation or JS function scalar. I thought that would work. Expect submitted data to have been called with good. So hoping that's invoked and it's automatically just going to give me this value back. So this should still fail. Yeah, nice. So basically just returns basically what I had there. I think it just returns whatever arguments that you pass to the function. Grab this. And this should pass. Times. Mock functions are also known as spies because they let you spy on the behavior of a function that is called indirectly by some other code. So we're indirectly. Create a mock function. If no implementation is given, the mock function will return undefined. Implementation is given. Cool. Okay, so before, what have we got? 2, 3. Oh, there's a bunch of extra credits on this. That's good. I'm just going to make sure that everything I have is correct so far. So I'm going to jump back to here. Just throw out the blocker quickly. Cool. Mostly got that right. There was only a couple of things. Let's close this. Number one was abstracting out the username and password to make sure that there's no magic strings, and to show that you're intentionally saying that these both match. So that's cool. You can actually just pass the onSubmit handler mock function, and then it'll still give you back whatever data you passed into it. So it's effectively the same as. Whoop. What is job? No job, no degree. All right. That seems to be working. I'm going to go into the extra credit 2 now. Let's do the generate test data. Actually, it's like 8 minutes to 9. So I'm actually just going to take a quick bathroom break, grab some water, and I'll be back for, I don't know, like 5-6 minutes. Andy, got nothing to do. All right, where? Oh, Mr. Full. Hey, MT. Welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. All right, where were we? We were going to generate some test data. An important thing to keep in mind is simplifying the maintenance of tests by reducing the amount of unrelated cruft in the test. We want to make it so the code for the test communicates what's important. Specifically, in my solution, I have these values. Does my code behave differently when the username is Chuck Norris? Do I have special logic? Without looking at the implementation, I can't be sure. What would be better is if the code communicated, pardon me, that the actual value is irrelevant. Let's generate the value. That communicates the intent really well. As a reader of the test, it doesn't matter what the username is, just that it's a reason. Faker. That's cool. Never heard of this. 2 mil. I love finding a package that I've never used before and it's got 2 million weekly downloads. Alright, cool. Get a random username. Password. Screen's not big enough for all my stuff. Right, so we can Faker.js. We've already got it installed in the project, so go ahead and import it and then generate the username and password. Even better, create a build login form function which allows me to call it like this. Login form function. Right? Const build login form. Doesn't need any input. It's going to return an object, a username, a password, and then I think that's all I need. Faker.internet.username. Oh, an object. First thing that he said, note the capital N. Huh. It's weird that they autocomplete. Give me lowercase. Ah, username is. Guessing that's a function. build login form, which is going to return an object. It gets deconstructed into username and password. Should just be able to do const username password equals build login form. That would be lowercase. Let's save that. Should pass. Good times. Flying through this. Allow for overrides. Sometimes you actually do have some specific data that's important for the test. Oh, one thing I'm going to do just before I forget is I'm going to bookmark this. So I don't forget about it. Sometimes you do actually have specific data that's important for the test. For example, if our form performed validation on the password being a certain strength, then we might not want to just randomly generate the password. Try to make your build login form function accept overrides as well. Pass that in. This communicates to the reader of the test that we just need a normal one, except the password needs to be something specific. Okay, so I suppose that'll be data that's passed in here, and then I think we just spread data into this. And if I pass password custom, identical. Good times. So I'm going to type these in, and then I'm going to do screen debug. I'm just going to visually assert that the password is actually what I've passed in here. Okay, that's obviously not going to show me the values, it's just going to show me the markup. So I'm just going to say expect password node to have text content. I'm hoping this says ABC. I have it before. To equal. Message parent can only be used inside a worker. Maybe it's being weird because it's a password. Let me try with username first. It's telling me it's failed. Out of interest. Let's see if this passes. Oh, I'm an idiot. And I'll submit. I'll have the data attached to it, so I can just say username. So it's just checking that the function was called with those arguments. So if I remove this, let's say 1, 2, 3 here. Then if I remove this entirely, then I should just get a random whatever's generated here. So it should fail saying it's expecting this and got 1, 2, 3 instead. Guillermo Bono. Oh, so that should now pass. That wasn't really part of the exercise, that was more just for me trying to wrap my head around it. It's a library I like to use for generating test data. Oh, Jack Franklin. That's cool. Right, it's a few nice utilities. Check out the docs there and swap your custom build login form with one you create using test data bot. All right. Your first builder, Faker.js. Oh, nice. So it calls Faker.js. And I don't know where it is, but actually, can I adjust my screen? Because that white light is killing me. That's better. Right, sorry about that. It was just killing my eyes. So we're going to do a test data bot. So we're grabbing this. So we're going to need build to create a factory. And we're also going to use fake, which means we shouldn't need this anymore. Just comment that out, because it's not doing anything. Let's create a builder. So const build login form. I'm going to call the factory builder. Give a builder an object with fields that you want to define. If you're on version 1.2 or higher, you can leave the name of the factory and pass in only the configuration object. That makes me happy. So if I look in here, 1.3, that's cool. So we don't need to give it a name. Let's pass a configuration object here. And then we're going to say API for calling fake. Slightly different. Let's call fake. Oop. Wonder if that's the API for that. Close that object. It's freaking out because I haven't closed the build, and then it should all tidy itself up. Const user1 equals user builder. So let's call this a login factory. Build login form. The login factory. Yes. But the custom data won't work here. Alright, what have we got here? Build login form is not a function. No. Because that's just going to generate that object. Ooh. Can I pass custom data? Increment with sequence. Overrides. Oh. So I suppose I could do this one of two ways. I wonder. If I created this as a function instead. And I pass that to the factory. Yeah, that doesn't feel right. Let's just follow the docs. Okay, so we've got the generic login form. Let's build custom login form. And I'm going to call build login form. I'm going to pass overrides username 123. And that's silly because that's not actually being used. Function. Didn't think I would lay on that. Build login form is not a function. Oh, login factory. So I actually call factory again and pass the overrides to that. Just bookmark this so I don't forget about it. Oh, nice. So that's passing now. And then if I put in ABC here, then this should fail. Awesome. It's failing here. So what are we doing here? We're going to build a custom login form. Just going to return an object with username and password. We have a generic login factory, and then we're going to override so we can pass it the custom data. The example actually gave this one. Good times. All right, that's cool. That anymore? Elaboration and feedback. Just quickly fill this out. Elaborate on what you learned. Let's validate form submissions. Test mock functions. What was the name of the actual package? Test data bot. Test mock functions. Baker.js. And that was great fun, actually. Pretty easy to follow as well. Did I have any? Nope. All seems fit. Nice. So I'm just going to spend next. Let's see how long these are. Oh. I get those green ticks. All right, 247, 126, 153. Cool. So for the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to watch these solution videos, and then I'll be back for the next exercise. Let's throw that up there. There's a 2-minute video on the next module, or the next exercise, which is for mocking HTTP requests. So it'll be like 1 or 2 more minutes. Then we can get started. All right, let's make a mock service worker. First things first, let's grab this code. Clean this up. Markdown. That's on in. Look for 5. There we go. Cool. All right, testing that our front-end code interacts with the back-end is important. It's how the user uses the applications. So it's what our test should do as well if we want maximum confidence. However, there are several challenges that come with doing it. For integration and unit component tests, we're going to trade off some confidence for convenience. So for all of our jest tests, we'll start up a mock server to handle all of the window fetch requests. Because window.fetch is not supported in JS DOM and Node, we have WG installed, which will polyfill fetch in our testing environment, which will allow MSW, the mock service worker, to handle these requests for us. Cool. To handle the fetch request, we're going to start up a server, which is not actually a server, simply a request interceptor. Cool. Here's an example of how you can use it. So we're going to import fetch from fetch. W is going to get. We're going to set up a server. Handlers. Before everything starts, start the server. After each of them, reset any handlers, and then after them all, close it. We render as normal, a fetch component. User event, click. Sweet. So just while I'm here and before I get started on this. Ah, that's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it another time. That hovers. The get lens stuff's quite annoying. So I'll disable that for next time. Where are we? User event. I'm gonna click the load greeting. Return a 500 error on the response. Okay, this seems a bit more complex. Should be fun. In the last exercise, you wrote a test for the login form by itself. Now you'll be writing a test that connects that login form with the backend request. We'll use wait for element to be removed to wait for the loading indicator to go away. Cool. So we're grabbing not that. Oh no. That was the wrong button. And every week I forget to take down that blocker. My VS Codes just went a bit crazy. 1 second. And it has not been a good day for my setup. Here we go. Oh, all right, I'm back. So we've got number 5 here. So we're going to build this login form. So we're going to get this component. So we're going to do login. First examples. Login submission. This in case we need it. And I've actually got a really annoying overlay. I'm just going to quickly try and get rid of. That down. It's like the 3rd time everything's crashed. Good times. Do they like think Google has Google Blue as their colors? Should be working. So let's run test. All right, while that loads up, get the server set up with an async function to handle the login post request. Here's something to get you started. Rest.post. That's on exercise 5. Get the server set up with an async function. Let's just grab this. Let's go to the docs. Ah, no dark mode. Sad. The REST namespace contains a set of request handlers designed for convenient mocking of REST API requests. Cool. I'm just gonna comment this. You'll need to import REST and set up server. I'm guessing that's a named export. So let's get REST. Setup server. No. Alright, so we're going to do a REST and we're going to do a post request. This. The server set up with an async function to handle the login post request. You'll want to respond with a JSON object as the username. For all the tests, start the server with listen, and after all the tests start. So, get the server set up with an async function. Let's look at the example. Server setup server is a function. So we're going to create a server. I'm going to call the setup server function. All after all, so it takes a callback function. For all tests, we want our server to start listening, and then after all the tests are finished, we want to close the server. CTX request response. You'll want to respond with a JSON object that has the username. So we have an async function here where we're going to post that. So const username. is on a request params. You're going to return a response here. I really want to know what CTX stands for. Clearly being silly. Got a JSON object here. You're going to want to respond the JSON object that has the username. Yeah, that's not correct, but come back to that. And comment this and you'll start making the request. So the user event is going to click the button which is submit. So build login form. Cool. So build, using fake. Yep, it's cool. So let's uncomment this. Probably have this here. The username is undefined here. See what's coming through here. Okay, so CTX has a bunch of utilities. Response and request are going to. So the request is an object, the response is a function. CTX is an object with a set of utilities. The CT context. As soon as the user hits submit, we'll render a spinner to the screen. That spinner has an ARIA label of loading for accessibility purposes. So wait for the loading spinner to be removed using wait for element to be removed. So const loading spinner. I'm going to use the screen. It has an ARIA label. Screw. Cenobite. Nice. Thanks for the follow, man. Sorry, man was assumed. Hey, thanks for the follow. It's so hard to get out of the habit of saying like man and guys. Anyway, that spinner. Let's grab the login submission. Right. Okay. A look at the login component. It's going to be on the login submission. Spinner. We're going to call a spinner here. Div class name, ARIA label. How can I get by ARIA label? What have we got here? Do I have anything else on it? I feel like he's dropped the hint that it has an ARIA label of loading. Or API. Oh, does it actually say loading? No. This is wrong, right? But I'm just going to say get by the label text loading. And then that loading node. And we're going to wait for element to be removed. Oop. I mean, to be fair, he's just doing this. So he's doing a document. A document. A query selector. And then what class does he have on the spinner? LDS ripple. So he's using style components, which salts everything. It's nice just to be able to search for the class. So we have a loading node. That's all I need to do. Ah, then I'm going to do it then. It's a promise. Once the login is successful, then the loading spinner disappears and we render the username. Expect something. As soon as the user hits submit, we'll render a spinner to the screen. That spinner has an area labeled loading. Loading spinner to be removed. Can I put the expect in the prompts? So we can just, of course, idiot. I'm tired. Instead of doing the promise with the then, we can just await. There we go. So we'll wait for that to be removed. And login submission. Welcome. That's nonsense. Expect that to have text content. So expect that. Have text content. That's the actual builder. So const, let's just call it a factory for just now. And build login form. Then overrides username Chuck Norris. I'm gonna run out of time, but I'm just gonna, I was a little bit late starting, so I'll just try and finish this exercise before I finish. So we're going to wait for that to be removed, sir. So I need to tidy that up because that's incorrect. And that to have, that factory will return, say, factory username. Probably a better way to find the loading node, especially because he's hinting at the ARIA label. I'm going to be cheeky because I'm running out of time. I'm going to look at the final here. So I'm going to ignore that for just now. I'm going to build the login form. Get by label text. Interesting. Then you're just checking that the username's actually there. All right, so screen, get by text. To be in the document. What was that way of doing it? So await for the element to be removed. You're doing a callback. We want the screen to get label text loading. Get by label text loading. Okay, so instead of just blitzing through this, I'm actually just going to leave it here because I'm absolutely shattered. And all I'm going to end up doing is just copy pasting from the final submission, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put it into a sort of tidy spot to finish up. Circle in this factory, let's call this. So. Okay, so that's not on the document, so that's failing at the moment, which is good. So the test seems fine. Rendering the login component, we're getting a username and password back from... Ooh, not from this. You're getting this from... Say build, just to keep it similar to last time. Build custom login form. So that'll give us a username and password, then we're going to put that in there and hit submit. We're going to wait for the loading to be removed. And then whoop, can actually just say get by text, username, to be in the document. So all we need to do now when I come back on Tuesday is to set up the server properly to make sure that we're responding with the correct response object. Nice, cool. All right, thanks for following along. I'm not back until Tuesday of next week, which is probably for the best because I'm absolutely shattered. But when we come back, I'm going to finish this exercise. Thing where I need it to be. Yeah, it looks like a good spot to finish. All right, thanks for following along. Thanks for the follows, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. See you all on Tuesday.